let's catch up. It's been a couple weeks, and today's weather is not so hot, but terribly muggy, so basement work is good to do right now. I've added some more paint, as you can see, and here, spoiler alert, take that away, we had a little bit of moss. It's kind of a rock fall, rock slide area as well. I've also been experimenting with some ground cover, which has been nice to cover up my hastily done baseboard. And I knew there'd be things like this that would come up, like some of the clay cracked on me, but that's going to be okay. We can fix that up, a little ground cover and some other rock. Try to add a little bit of ballast, that very small stone in there, but it doesn't look quite as natural against the medium stone. Also found some gray gravel in my travels, and plan on incorporating that into this design. This also got some work. I might have said in the last video that I used white glue and water applied via syringe, eyedropper if you will, into this area. I meant to use isopropyl alcohol 70%, 50-50 mix with the glue, and then drop it in here, and you can see this is now solid. This is that culvert scene which I mentioned, and over here in this pile of mess I do have 2 culverts ready to go. I need to get some gray paint so I can prep those and get those built, and that little guy will go right there in the middle and drain out. Like I had mentioned, the ground cover works a heck of a lot better using a shaker bottle as opposed to just doing it by hand. So I use something like this, put a little bit of the ground cover in there, and it worked great to apply and get something like this. There's some loose, which I'll be able to clean off of there, just using my hand or blowing on it gently, and can collect that up and use it somewhere else. The other thing that's new is I've put down the first strip of ceiling tile, cut to accommodate a dual track setup, as you can see, with that little trench there in the middle to give a contour when I put the ballast in. Just a little side note, as I look at this more and more, this backboard is leading me towards wanting to get some type of backdrop in here. It's fine for now, but maybe if I can find one, or perhaps get enough time to make one, it'll be a nice addition, I think. Also, in my travels, I was able to find the kind of stone I wanted for the river crossing that's right here. Haven't done much with that as of late, except a little paint in the ground cover. Did a little work in the back, chipping some of this stuff up, and when the whole thing is done, I'm gonna have to cut back this bank. This one's probably okay as far as the height, but then we'll come in and begin to stack this up into kind of a rocky ledge on this wall to be crossed by a couple bridges when it's all done. Okay, looks good to proof that section of rail. Good connectivity, both sides. I think it's a go. This particular piece I'm going to be a little bit forgiving with how detailed it is and some of the imperfections, which we'll explain along the way, because it is behind the scenes, if you will. But that is the first run on the new setup. Looking good. Also doing a little check to make sure we have adequate clearance between the two. I'm doing these rails, even though they're not set yet, at a 2-inch separation, which is an NMRA standard for that sort of thing. As we come up to the curve, that's gonna have to increase. So now with these in place, I'm ready to start some ballast fucking weight. Those are my solder joints. I'm not going to dwell on them because I'm not proud of my soldering. The first ever I think I've done ever, whatnot. But these again are separated by 2 inches, and I've got them nailed down with just little track nails. At this point, all I'm doing is not purchasing the $30 ballasting tool, which you can get. Just simply sprinkling this on. I'm wondering if this particular edge is going to be a problem here, but we'll just take our time, and if anything, we'll use a little easy tack to maybe keep that on there and build it up. This particular ballast combination is coarse gray and fine gray. I think I'm going to use some medium going forward, but since I bought this, it's going to go back here in the rear section of the track. Then simply very easy go down through and